American author, screenwriter, stand-up comic, chef, restaurateur, food personality, fashion designer, producer, and attorney. Eddie's autobiography, Fresh Off the Boat, a memoir, was a New York Times bestseller and later adopted by him into a successful television series which airs on ABC for its 4th season. It was the first Asian American family sitcom in over 20 years. He currently hosts Wong's World, a hip travel show for Viceland, which is one of their highest rated shows. He also travels the globe speaking to Fortune 500 companies like Converse and Google, and nonprofits like TED, and major newspapers such as the New York Times and Atlantic. Tova, who's going to be interviewing Eddie, moderating tonight. Tova's credits include Glory with Denzel Washington, Oliver Stone's Nixon, Evita, and Antonia Banderas and Madonna, and Varsity Blues. So could you please welcome Eddie Huang and Tova. Thank you.
How's it going? What's up? All right.
So let me ask you, who are you wearing?
Oh, Willie Chavaria, my friend designs this. So it's like Chicano fashion. Yeah. It's like expensive Dickies, I think.
So we saw the segment about the inauguration, and it's very interesting and it's powerful. And I want to ask you, how did you pitch that show to Viceland when you started?
The series overall or this episode?
No, the series.
Okay.
How did you sell that show? What did you tell them you were going to do? What was going to be the concept of it?
It's an interesting story because originally, I wanted to make films. When I was in school, I went to Columbia summer film program right after I graduated undergrad. I was one of the first film minors at my school. I was the first class of film minors. There was 3 of us. And what happened was I went to Columbia and I wrote this screenplay called Reverse the Curse, which was a comedy about the myth of the Asian phallus, which was like an Asian dude who was insecure about penis size all day. And he sold foot-long hot dogs, so all he could do was think about just steaming 6 inches in a steam table. And I wrote this, and the professor at Columbia loved it, and he's like, but you should change all your characters to Jewish characters, because, we have the same issue. And I was like, I write Asian stories. I'm an Asian person, I'm gonna write Asian stories. He's like, no one is ever gonna buy Asian film.
Right.
And that really broke my heart, and I was very upset. And so I bounced around. I did all kinds of jobs. I was a lawyer, I did stand-up comedy, I sold weed, and then
Lawyer, selling weed, drugs, it's the same.
You bounce around. And then what happened was I started to notice that the only Asians in America that were getting attention artistically and culturally were chefs. And I said, this is interesting because Americans expect us to be good at cooking and kung fu and pretty much nothing else, right? So I said, well, I can cook. I can run circles around a lot of these chefs. It's not necessarily what the be-all, end-all what I want to do with my life, but I know I could make a better bun than David Chang. Because I tasted the Momofuku one, and I was like, this ain't shit. Yeah. And I was like, I'll make the original Taiwanese one. So I took my weed money, and I went and opened up Bauhaus. And I was like, I'm gonna sell food, but I'm gonna talk in the press about culture and Asian identity, because that's what I'm into, and multiculturalism, diversity for all people in America, because I believe in America. And then I started to get picked up for food shows and things like that. And the cooking channel gave me a backdoor pilot, 1 hour. So they gave me a 1 hour pilot, and we did this deal, we did the show, they loved it, and they offered me a 6-episode season. But I knew I didn't want to be a cooking channel because I could just see the camera work was terrible. The producer.
The food got better exposure than you.
Yeah. And the people, the producers would try to write and tell you what to say on camera. I said, I know what I want to say. Just hold the camera, hold the clipboard. Like, I'll tell you what I'm gonna say. But I did the pilot, it did well, and I took the contract and I went straight to Vice, because Vice had just launched VBS at the time. And I went and I met Eddie Moretti, and I was like, look, I see what you're doing. You got this like Chef's Night Out show, Munchies. There was no Munchies Vertical at the time. They just had one show called Munchies, and it was chefs going out eating at night. I said, this is cool. You definitely make an impact on the industry, and you're doing interesting things with video. I know Spike Jones is like overseeing this. I have a show I will walk away from a cooking channel. Here's the tape. So I showed him my tape. He watched me on tape. He liked it. He's like, what do you want to do? I was like, I want to do a food travel show that uses food to explore culture. And I said, for a lot of ethnic and immigrant cultures, people don't necessarily want to hear about our issues or our politics, but they want to eat our food. And I said that as an Asian American in this society, food is going to be my way to tell my story. And that's why I want to do this. And he was like, that's a powerful idea. Here's the money to make this show. And so that's how the show was made.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So it's hard to really understand how you can do all of those things that you do, all those endeavors that you're into. I mean, you write books that become bestseller, and you have cooking shows, and you're a designer, and you're a lawyer, and you sell drugs, and and I mean, do you sleep?
Yeah, I get about
Because you do them all well, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate
So the
that.
question is, yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Well, you sleep 2 hours a night?
I
or
sleep
what?
6 to 7, but the secret, I think, you could probably relate to. I mean, you worked on Godfather too, classic film, right? You know the same thing. It's schedule. It's schedule and discipline and passion. And I feel like if I wake up, there's some days I wake up and I don't, like, I'm not on it, I get so mad. I get so mad. And one of the funny things is, okay, I won't tell you who this is because I was in Jamaica doing Mali at the time, but I was hanging with my friend, very, very famous musician, and we were looking at old dub videos, and I was watching like how Jamaicans first created and invented dub, and he was telling me what's really fly about dub is that the musician is actually the engineer, right? That was the innovation with dub music, was that it was the boards and the engineer working it, and like look at how you created the sound with the engineer. And I was like, how do you, like, I was watching the guy doing it, and I was like, this is like watching this, it's like this guy was touched by God, the guy that was working and making all the dub music when we were watching YouTube videos. And my friend, you know, he's like won a few Grammys, he says, yeah, like, I mean, that's how I feel like when I'm in studio, like when I'm doing my music, when I'm recording, it just feels like I'm not even conscious, I'm unconscious, I'm just plugged in and I'm going. And some days I wake up and I'm just going, and I'll write 20 pages, you know? And, you know, my best friend, manager, attorney, Raph is here, Julianne is here, my girlfriend, Julie is here, is like, they know if I'm on a roll writing, I text like the three of them and I'm just like, cancel 3 days. Cancel the next 3 days because I'm gonna write 60 pages in 3 days. And they cancel the day. But you wait for those moments, like those moments where you just wake up with the clarity, capture it. You have to capture it. And I tell cameramen when we shoot too, the footage is not gonna fly into your camera. It's called capture, motion capture. So you see something and something inspires you, capture it. You know, so that, I think that's the best thing, is like, I'm disciplined every day. I box or I play basketball. I make myself sit at a table and try to write. And I'll give it an hour, 2 hours. Sometimes I get something out. Sometimes I pump out a page. But on the days where it like flows, I don't leave the house for 3 days.
Amazing. But how do you deal with the social media? Because it's like, it's addictive. And when you just want to see, oh, I'm just going to see this, and then suddenly you're answering, and before you know, your concentration, it's very hard. Because therefore, some people basically, either they wake up at 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, when they know they have 3 hours that nobody will bother them, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
11 to 2 at night. So my question is, how do you really, what does it take? Willpower, discipline, I guess, what, to actually concentrate and not be tempted? It's about not being.
It's a lot of discipline. It's a lot of discipline and dedication, and I don't think you'll ever meet anybody like in literature, writing, film, non-scripted, scripted that is like, oh, it was easy. You know, I got lucky. Like, it is dedication. And like, I watch a lot of samurai films. Like, I love samurai films because of like the focus and dedication and just the gravity to everything. You know, it's life or death. And and I really do think that like when you're in the mode and you're creating, like you have to take that so seriously. And it comes out in the work. I watch the episodes we do. This is a season where I'm extremely proud of all the episodes, and I was very meticulous in the edit. But when I watch previous seasons, I'm like, I don't like the music sting out there. I don't like the shot, like we cut a little short there. And those, I'm telling you guys, spend every minute in the edit. Make every change. Do everything you can and watch it over and over and over. Like, I was hearing it here and I couldn't see the image. I knew the exact shot with the sound, sitting in the green room eating freeze-dried raspberries, because you just like, you have to know your footage. And you don't ever want to regret not making a call, you know? And so this season I was like, I don't want a single regret on this episode, on this season. The one episode that I did not get to go in and work the edit as much because I was like cooking and I was in New York and we cut out of LA was the Japan episode. So I watched the Japan episode and there's a couple cuts and there's a couple like transitions where I'm just like, oh, this is gonna bother me the rest of my life, you know? But I think that I forget what the question was, but it's like, don't let anything go.
No, but isn't Japan food amazing?
Amazing.
Amazing.
Amazing. And the focus too, like the focus and
Unbelievable.
seriousness.
Unbelievable. So, let me ask you something. Some skills that you have, right? Because you had all those endeavors and all those professions and so on and so forth. Some skills probably, I presume, you know, require, I don't know, that you study for it. Some of them may become naturally because of proximity to your parents' cooking and whatnot. Is there a thread in all your endeavor that you can...
Yes, I love this question. I studied everything. If it was food, if it's basketball, it's boxing, I studied it. There is like a how, what, when, where, why to everything. There is a science. Anything, if you look at anything and don't think that there's a science, the only person you're fooling is yourself. Like, there is an absolute, I would watch my mom make a dish and I would watch my dad make the dish. And my dad was never as serious or focused as my mom making it. And I was like, it tastes different. And that is something I was telling Julie about the other day, is like, food was a really formative thing for me as an art form, because there's an instant gratification and there's an instant report card. You do it well, you can taste it. You do it wrong, you can taste it. It's an instant report card. And you know Asians love report cards. But like, you know, everything I did taught me something. Even like, I'm not trying to be funny, I'm not encouraging people to go sell weed. Like, this is a bygone era. Weed is legalized, you know, you can work in a pharmacy now. But like, when I was selling weed, I was like, I presented it differently. I went to the Container Store and I bought glass vials and I got metal toothpicks and I got like the illest sour diesel. And I was like, yo, I'm gonna charge you $50 for 2.5 grams, but it's gonna be like the supreme of weed, you know? And cats knew me. They're like, yo, Chino got the fucking vials. He got like the metal toothpick. Like, my shit was super fly and I was on time. I was always on time. And I remember one time these other dudes selling weed at the Container Store saw me in there and I had like a whole basket of vials and they had the plastic cubes and they're like, it's you. And I was like, it's me. And then I was like, step it up, just pay the extra, get the vials. Like, you're gonna make it back. Like, and so like, I got these other dudes on the presentation too, but it's just like, whatever I did, I was like, I'm gonna smash everybody out of the game.
It's interesting.
You know?
You know, I remember one time I had a friend at Christmas Eve. He says to me, I just want to go and visit my client for a second, okay? And that was Christmas Eve. And I go, and his client was John Avildsen. And he's sitting with some young guy. I get introduced to him, Sylvester Stallone, his wife, Sasha. And they're watching fight movies. It's Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
They are working. They're
Yeah.
watching fight movies. before I even knew that it was going to be Rocky. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Oh, my client, he's working on a movie. Let's just go and say hi to him Christmas Eve. But I saw the dedication that went into that movie
Yeah.
and why it came so good.
Yeah.
They didn't say, oh, let me go and get some drunk or whatever. No, they were sitting watching fight movies.
Yeah. I don't drink that much anymore. I used to drink a lot. I don't really go out that much. Like, I'm really in the lab. I have a cinephile membership. Your guys' library is very good. I went and like just checked out the library. Really amazing films. You guys should just work through racks of films. Like, I go to Cinephile and I just work through the director. I watch every film. I go from the first film to the last film and I see how they progressed, you know? And you have to study it. There is a science. And if you don't do the work, somebody's going to outwork you.
Unbelievable. Okay, I think students, it's time for you to ask questions. Don't be shy.
What's up, Eddie?
What's up? How's it going?
Good, good. What is it like working with such a controversial TV station such as Viceland? And what was the most out of the ordinary thing you've ever witnessed, whether on set or behind the scenes?
You know, I never shy from controversy, and I think the thing that has helped my show stand out at Vice is, for instance, Noisy does a very interesting thing, which is they subvert like a kind of fragile white hipster and put him into like Atlanta, right?
With the
And-
Migos.
yeah, exactly, with the Migos, and he snitched on him. And I remember I told the Noisy boss, who I have a lot of respect for because I love Noisy and I love the people, but I was like, yo, this feels like a little bit of white gaze, like on Atlanta and on the hip hop community. And I know it's funny, the cultural clash, but this is becoming gaze, right? And what I've tried to do with my show is to not gaze on cultures, but to immerse myself and actually live in it. It's easy to go to a place because we have like the Vice access, which is I think our greatest strength. But it's easy to go and be like, we're weird, right? And I think Vice has been at its worst when it's like, we're in North Korea, right? I thought it was amazing that Vice went to North Korea. I think it was huge and necessary. But I think what Shane did after going to North Korea is what really made people respect Vice. Because North Korea was kind of a gag and kind of a hoax, and it was a big press thing. And then after the backlash, like you saw a big change in the Vice on HBO show. It wasn't just like, oh, we're here and we did our job. It was like, all right, we're here. What are the questions we're going to ask? And for me, people joke, I specialize in the white supremacist interview. You know what I mean? I've done it in Sicily. I've done it in DC. I do not agree with a single thing these people are saying. It makes my blood boil. But I was like, go test your like chi, like your ability to stay calm.
I know, you really stayed calm with that guy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. And like,
Yeah.
you know, I went and the whole time, it was so hard to eat, but I was like, look, if I believe in everything we're talking about as liberals, working across the aisle, listening to people, diversity, multiculturalism, I have to sit here and listen to this man speak. I have to give him the time. I have to try to understand it. And then after he's said his piece, now I can come in and be like, this is a fallacy, that's ignorant, blah, blah, blah. But I have to sit there and listen and give him his time and actually genuinely try to listen and see it from his point of view. So my experiences, I've been put in a lot of funny situations. I went to jail in Sicily because I interviewed Forza Nova, and then they tried to fight us for the footage, and I wouldn't give up the footage, so I went to jail. But in all of it, I stayed calm. All of it, I stayed calm.
That's what's up.
That's key. Don't get angry. When you get angry, you lose. And like, I've been angry at times and I've taken L's in my career, but the thing that my man Raph taught me, he's like, look, man, when you get angry, we all lose. So,
Thank you very much.
yeah.
How you doing, sir?
How you doing?
Good, man. I was happy to see that you put on for the city out there. I'm from D.C. myself.
Oh, word. What part?
Northeast and Rhode Island.
Okay.
Yeah, man. But my question was, actually, she already asked it. And how did
She's
you
good.
get
She's
started?
good.
You know, the balance of all those different jobs.
Yeah.
So I guess I want to get more specific. With you diving into different forms of entertainment, you know, being a chef and attorney as well. I just categorize entertainment with all the
It's,
other-
you good. You good. I see what you're saying.
I guess I heard you say it takes a lot of discipline, And I guess like in knowing that it's a science to it and it takes discipline. You spoke on it with writing, like you'll do like a 3-day thing and be locked in. So I guess my question goes to specifically with the the law part. How did you get started with that? And then in reference to your disciplinaries for all your other entertainment categories, television, writing, all of those, what is some advice that you would give to someone like me up and coming to be disciplined with something that you did personally?
Okay. I think the number one thing is that with all the jobs, people have tried to understand it. Because I'm an Asian in America and like we were expected to be in law or engineering or doctors, when I tried to do like film or I tried to do acting, people just laughed me out of the building. Like I even wrote like a great article for the Orlando Sentinel, my hometown paper. They offered me a job the next day. I went in, they saw my face, and they're like, oh, no one's gonna interview with you with that face. Like the high school coaches ain't gonna talk to you. And I was like, all right.
Oh.
Fuck you. And I got in my car and left. But like that was the racism that I faced. It was a very strange type of racism I faced my entire life. And so I did all these odd jobs because I didn't know what was my entry point. It's like watching a Nolan film, like where's the starting point, where's the entry, right? And it made me better. And just like Memento or just like Dunkirk, which I love, like I love how he has so many alternate points of entry. And something you guys will go through, one of the things I hate with television and film is there's always gonna be a studio executive or some sort of network executive that's like, can we just like set up the show very clearly up top? Can we just start the movie like from a very clear place? And I was like, guys, why does it have to be like this super linear starting point? Like you should move and you should challenge people. Like Shakespeare, when he did Midsummer Night's Dream, I really encourage you to read Midsummer Night's Dream. It is like philosophically my favorite thing about entertainment. He teaches you, the audience, don't slumber. Entertainment is not to come home and sit on a couch and slumber and drool. Even though that's like what a lot of these networks want to make is a 22-minute show that does not require your intellect or attention, that's not what we should be trying to make. We should be challenging people with narratives and we should be challenging them with different entry points because like that's how life is. You don't know where your entry point is, right? Like it's like you meet a girl, you want to take her out. Like, I mean, I had to ask my girl like for 3 months different ways to try to like ask her out. Like I sent mad party flyers. I said pull up. I said I'll pull up. You know, like do you eat food? Do you drink? You know, I try all kinds of things, right? You never know what your entry point is gonna be. It turned out I just had to ask her to go on a walk, right? But like, you know, the thing is I did all these odd jobs trying to find my way in. But it's important. Don't create walls in your head saying, oh, I'm an attorney, so I think this way. I'm a cook, so I think this way. One hand washes the other. You learn skills from everything. And the laws of the universe, you can see them in any art form. So whatever it is you're doing, it can teach you the same lesson, and you transfer those lessons. And while you're doing something, just be as focused as you can on that task.
Got you, man. You dope, man.
Thanks, man.
Hi, Eddie.
Hi.
I'm Kiki Duan from China. This is my second time to meet you, actually. 3 or 4 years ago, you shoot one of the episodes at Chengdu, where is my hometown, and I'm at Haka Bar, like 20 feet behind you.
Oh, no way.
And
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I just want you to know I really love this episode, and
you were the second person from China that we ran into on the show that made it to America, so congrats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can tell this season is like way higher, got a higher budget than the first season.
Yeah.
And I got a simple, stupid, but important question for you. Is that what kind of food you hate the most and why?
What kind of food? I don't like, I just don't like it when it's not well cooked. Meaning, like if you want to make a piece of simple grilled chicken with salt, there's a way to make it like amazing. On the Japan episode, a simple hamburger, the guy thought about every single aspect of it. Whatever it is that you like, I have nothing I don't like in terms of taste or culture. I just want to see it done at the highest level. So if you're gonna do it well. And there's a way to do everything.
Oh, thank you. very kind. Hey, what's going on, Eddie?
What's up, man?
I'm Khalif Kelly. Most of what my films I try to do is I try to empower women. I try to stay multicultural. I just got to give a shout out to my daughter. She loves you, man. She calls you like the urban Buddha of TV.
Thank you, man.
If she
Tell
saw
her I
you
said
what
what's
you
up.
addressed today, she would freaking go insane.
Aw.
But my daughter Kalela, my daughter Shakira, they love you. But my question is, in your quest to educate people through food and culture, what aspects of it do you feel bring people closer to help empower your movement, with multiculturalism?
I think what it is finding commonality, right? Is race to me is a social construct, right? Like obviously we have like certain physical features, but we all share over 99% of the same genetic material, and the definitions that people have given to certain races, those are social constructs. Those are not written in stone. Every person from Chengdu, China is not going to have the same feature. Every person from Nigeria is not going to have the same features. And maybe some people are. Maybe there is a higher probability of certain features. But the thing is you can't go off that as a probability, right? You have to allow people to show you and tell you who they are. You have to allow them to be human. And that is by being human yourself and understanding that we have so much more similar than we are different. And I try to do that every episode. I try to find something in every country that makes it feel less foreign.
Wow. That's great. I just want to tell everyone, if you haven't watched this show, I've watched it from Burgundy all the way to, my favorite is a Chinese episode. Like,
Thanks,
watch
man.
his show, record it.
Thank you.
Great.
Hey, what's up, Eddie?
What's up, man?
This is my first episode. Khalifa, I will check out the show. We got
word.
Louisiana. I'm from Louisiana, so you got to definitely get Louisiana on the food map,
Okay.
too. We got the good grub. But it's a couple things that you had said while you were up there talking. And one of my things is...
You wrote it all on your arm?
yeah, this is my little notepad, yo. It comes. You say it comes
I like
to you,
it, I
just
like
gotta
it.
write it down.
I
You
like
just
it.
gotta go.
Yeah.
So one of my big things is right now, what I think about society is cultural appropriation. And so when you I seen this episode and I seen you touching the different areas of DC and stuff like that, which I really like. So with the cultural appropriation, what are some things right now that you're trying to do to actually help those communities that you seen? You talked to the restaurant owner who was there for a year and a half. Are you working with those people to make sure that those communities can come up from where it is, or was it just hey, let's kind of keep in touch? Is that still an ongoing thing that you're trying to?
I think. Are you talking about gentrification or cultural appropriation? Because I think talking about the businesses coming up, I think that seems more like a gentrification issue you're talking about, right?
Right. And when I was saying the cultural appropriation, I feel say for instance the Donald Trump thing, it's a hot topic. Everybody just want to give their opinions and have a hot take on it because it'll get them views and stuff like that, opposed to really having a foundation, a base into really pushing forth their agenda and making change. So with going into those urban communities and stuff like that, I'm wondering do you guys reach back out to those communities?
In terms of the communities, I go and I really try to shine a light on people or cultures or businesses that are underrepresented. And then, we do the best we can to keep in touch, like Sisters in Harlem that we had on the New York episode. We got them a gig at OZY Festival, right? In DC, Tony Lewis, I sent his book for him to a couple agents to try to sell his book Slug. Wherever it is, I try to do my best, but I don't really have a scorecard,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
you might have a scorecard on your arm, but...
And one thing though, in one of the in your show, is that something that you with white supremacy and everything like that, when you see certain cultures taking from other cultures and making it their own as if it was their own, is that something you touch on in the show, or not really, just keep it kind of politics or anything?
I think I touch on it every episode.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Appreciate it, man.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Hey Eddie, how you doing?
Good, how you doing?
I'm doing real well. Enjoy your show.
Thank you.
To the utmost. My question is, when you are seeking locations outside of the United States, is there a formula for choosing them, or what's the criteria that how you choose the countries outside the United States for your show?
Yeah, we definitely, like, for instance, we wanted to go to West Africa last season. Ebola broke out right when we were buying the plane tickets. We couldn't go. We wanted to go to Puerto Rico to do the Puerto Rico episode this season. Zika, there was a Zika breakout, and we had, we had a few. I wouldn't even just say it was the female producers and crew, but all of us were kind of like, all right, Zika, we can't go there. But in terms of the ones we do pick, it's because that there is something happening in that city or country that really can connect around the world, that some sort of global movement is taking place or springing up from there, right? We picked Korea because in East Asia, Korea is probably the most powerful in terms of exporting its soft power, cultural. It creates the most cultural content, and it's consumed by the most people on Earth. There's more people consuming Korean culture than American film, American music, American television. So it's something interesting we wanted to show people. In Dubai is a country that is singularly kind of lifting the Gulf region out of poverty. And so many people from different places are coming to Dubai for opportunity. And in a way, it's similar to like the Industrial Revolution that was happening in America. It's similar to the kind of 90s and early aughts boom in China. And so we went to Dubai to see that. So we really try to center on big global shifts and kind of figure out where they're coming from and then go there.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, Eddie.
Hey.
So I'm from China, Shenzhen, Guangdong.
Okay, cool,
And,
cool.
I have your book. I learned a lot from your book because I'm really interested in studying Asian American. And I want to write script about Asian American culture. But the thing is, after I came here, I found out that Asian and Asian American, they are two very different things.
Yeah.
It's very hard for me to grab the mentality, the difference between the two things. So my question is a little bit odd, but I want to know, what do you think of Flushing, Queens in New York? To me, it's that place is very authentic. I did not expect to meet such a genuine Chinatown in America. So I just want to know, what do you feel about that town?
Well, I have a question for you, actually. Why do you want to write Asian American film? I'm very curious, because I write Asian American, but I have not written like Chinese, China, you know? I know Asian American.
Because I think there's a very special thing about Asian American. It's because they are like the outsider of this country. Not outsider, but more like a witness.
Yes,
to all the things. So
yes,
the point of view is very interesting. So,
yes.
So that's why I'm really interested in Asian American, because it's not like black people or white people. They are kind of like, they are in the game, but Asian American is not in the game that much. I mean,
no, I agree. I think
so
this is a very apt observation. This is like a very apt observation. Race is binary in America. You're white or you're black, and even the understanding of like Caribbean is very, very off. You know, or like Taino people. There's no nuance to the understanding of race in America. And Asian Americans, you're totally right. We're treated like invisible people in this country, right? And we're considered model minorities, like the minorities you don't need to worry about, right? and until you're trying to apply to college, then we're a problem, right? But no, this is very interesting. You're making a lot of interesting observations. It sounds pretty cool. In terms of Flushing feels like Taipei to me, right?
Okay.
It feels like Taipei. I really like it. I love Flushing. The food's the best. I drive there all the time to eat. Raph lives near Flushing. So I go to Flushing a lot. Yeah, I mean, you can pretty much live in Flushing, never leave Flushing, and never speak English.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's kind of cool, right? But it's America, and that just goes to show, like, America created this opportunity. America is on this soil, but there's not one way to be American. And when you go to You know, you could go to Crown Heights in Brooklyn, you could go to Woodside in Queens, you go to Flushing, and you see so many different versions of people's America. And I think that's where the power in this country is. It's not in saying Americans look this way, sound this way, believe these things. It's like, it's that you can do anything or be anybody here.
Right.
You know? Yeah. Good luck. Like, that's really tough what you're trying to do, but you're actually thinking about it in a pretty interesting way.
Hey Eddie.
Hi,
My name
how
is
are you?
Sarah. I'm from DC too.
Word.
So
I like
that
the jacket. The
episode
jacket
was
is fly.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That episode was very touching, and I can relate to where you went. I'm from Northwest, so it was really, really nice. My question is about, there was an interview that you were doing at Busboys and Poets,
Yeah.
where you mentioned that media and culture that we can create influences politics. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more? Because I feel like I work here. I'm not a student, but I feel like students can really, really learn from what you were talking about. But I think if you can elaborate, it'd be great.
Thank you. There's two things I've always believed in. Number one, that you vote every day by the things you spend money on. So you're voting with your money. Like, consumption is a way that you vote. Brands, I think it's arguable that certain brands are bigger than governments and countries, right? So, I mean, Google's pretty big, right? There's a lot of these brands and companies that are even bigger than countries, and you're voting for them, right? The other thing, though, is that what's interesting, the episodes that I really like people to see in this season are Toronto and DC, and to bookend them as comparisons. In Toronto, you had a leader in Pierre Trudeau who passed the Multiculturalism Act. And that legislation really drove and opened up culture in Toronto. And you see like a very vibrant cultural art scene in Toronto with people from all around the world and with Canadians and natives participating in it. And I think a lot of that is because the legislation paved the way. The legislation created more opportunity. In America, it feels a lot at times that the legislation lags behind the culture, right? If you look at the gay rights movement, you watch the movie Milk, you see what has been happening. The gay rights movement is a cultural movement that then became memorialized in legislation 30, 50, 100 years too late. Like, not too late, but late, right? The movement for gay rights has been going on for decades, and you see that. I think that you can look at the power of hip hop and like how hip hop and the music brought people together and showed another side of African America that a lot of people were not even aware of and did not see. And like, hip hop is one of those things that's become appropriated and co-opted and twisted and misrepresented so many times. But at the core and in its pure, raw, natural form, it is, I think, the most powerful movement of the last 50 years. And I think that hip hop has taught us so much more about multiculturalism and diversity than any law that's ever been passed, right? And I mean, you have laws passed, civil rights acts passed that have no teeth. The teeth have been stripped out of them. Like if you watch 13th Witness, you see, right? So I really do believe in the power of culture in this country because the culture usually sets the example that the legislation follows. And I think it's unfortunate, but it is with the tool that we have.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So your TV show and other stuff is really popular, I think, in a lot of foreign countries, especially China. Are you interested in like branching into the Chinese film market or TV or online video market at all? And also, are you trying to get into like fiction writing, like doing TV or film fiction writing?
Yeah, my third book is fiction. I have, there's a good friend of mine. I helped him with the script for like a year and a half, and like Paramount optioned it. It's it's a scripted show. I have a film that I wrote, and it's a basketball film, and that's at a studio. That is what I really love to do. I had to take a circuitous route to get these opportunities and write it, but now the doors are open. In terms of Chinese film, I would love for the Chinese market to see more of my work, especially the books translated. There's a lot of issues with my books because I write in slang, and there's a lot of like language that they want to censor in certain countries. So it has not been translated in certain Asian markets, but I would never change my work for that, you know? And I think the important thing with my work is I'm like, I am Asian American. I genuinely believe that there is a string that connects me with my ancestral past in China. I feel that if people see my work in China in its pure, like, natural, unadulterated state, they will understand it and they will have a connection. But I don't know if people in China see it that way, and I'm not looking to change my, like, work so that it appeals to a Chinese market. I think that if your work is honest, every market it'll appeal to every market. So, but yes, I would love, the more countries watch, the better. Like, I want to see what people think, right? Everyone wants to be understood.
Thanks.
Okay, so basically, you came, you saw, you won. Vini Vidi Vici. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming here. I think you set an incredible example to people that you can't really use your race as a stumbling block, that with really hard work and discipline and a passion and an ambition and a self-expression, you can get there.
Yep.
And I think this is really something that I was hoping the student will get, and they got it really from you. And in an entertaining way, by the way. Didn't have to lecture. It was really fun. So I cannot thank you enough, because I know how busy you are, because you have 7 professions, basically. And you know, it's funny because when I started at the studio, every studio was making 35 movies a year.
Yeah.
And you can just pitch, you know, 7, 8, 9 things a year, and you end it going. And now it's so hard to get anything, you know, at a studio. There's no question about it. So, but I know you're going to branch over there. I think you're going to make really terrific movies. I think you're going to continue making great series. And that's it. And I'm watching everything you eat. Everything you eat, I'm watching.
No, thank you for having me, and thank you for coming, guys.